What's up, YouTube? Brad Hoover from Rants here. So it looks like Joaquin Phoenix might not be that interested in actually making a return as the Joker in Joker 2, which is actually kind of shocking simply because, it's such a unique movie. He basically got to do whatever he wanted to in it. It was a huge success. You know what? It seemed like if he was up for doing the first one, um, and it was, look, he's very selective when it comes to the movies that he decides to participate in. So the idea that he would be willing to participate in the first one, uh, make a boatload of money, and be very successful, and not to necessarily want to take part in the second one, or at least not signing on immediately to a second one, is actually a little bit shocking. But anyways, let's go ahead and let's read what he says in his own words. It says, despite the massive success of Joker and previous reports about a sequel being in the works, Joaquin Phoenix still isn't sure what the future holds for its clown prince of crime. In a recent interview with the Playlist, Phoenix didn't rule out a return as the Joker or as the character, but he isn't sure a sequel will happen. I don't know, he said when asked about another Joker movie. He then explains that while he and Phillips both found their take on the Joker to be interesting, there doesn't appear to be any official news on a sequel. I mean, I don't know. From when we were shooting, we started to, this is an interesting guy. There are some things we could do with this guy and could explore, but as to whether we actually will, I don't know. See, I wonder if that is him just basically just stating, hey, you know what? I'd be up for it. I just don't know if it's in the works. Something along those lines. It feels a little bit like that's what he's trying to say. But then at the same time, just him just not just come out and say, you know what? I'd absolutely be for it if they would be willing to make another one. I would be 110% in. So I don't know. I don't know if it's more on him or if it's more on he just really truly doesn't know if it's even feasible that they can make a second one. Anyways, let's continue reading. It says, director Todd Phillips' Joker hit theaters in October 2019 and almost immediately smashed box office expectations. The film opened to a massive $96.2 million, with its budget reportedly only $55 million. For most major films, those numbers would fast-track a sequel, and in May, reports suggested Phillips had signed on to direct Joker 2. Shortly after the film's release, Phillips revealed he would love to return for a Joker sequel and work with Phoenix again. When a movie does $1 billion and costs $60 million to make, of course it comes up. But Joaquin and I haven't really decided on it. We're open, he explains. I mean, I'd love to work with him on anything, quite frankly. So who knows? But it would have to have a real thematic resonance the way this one did. Ultimately being about childhood trauma and the lack of love and the loss of empathy. And then it just basically just goes on to state, the other stuff. But look. I wasn't exactly a huge fan of the first one. I thought it was a good movie. I mean, I felt like to a certain extent it was one of those movies where there was two sides. There was a side that people was like, don't go see it because of blah blah blah, this and this, and then those who saying go see it because these are the kind of movies that need to be made. And both those sides was telling you they either loved it or absolutely hated it. And so it was really hard to kind of get a good reaction of whether or not people actually, because there was such strong opinion on one side or the other, whether people were really truthful about whether it was great or if it was as terrible as what people made it out to be. I personally found it to be kind of like in the middle. I'd be cool and open to watching a second one. I just don't know how it would technically be possible to make a second one, and whether or not it would do as well as what the first one did. Because look, let's face it, controversy was publicity for the first one. Would the second one have the same controversy, therefore the same publicity as the second one? Um, would that draw the same amount of fans to theaters to see it? I don't know. I think that's a very good question, but I'll be honest with you. If I was a studio, I would not only ask that question, but I would be actually having this movie in production as soon as possible to find out. Because look, it almost seems like, I mean, it's probably got a good 60 or 70% chance of being a success again. I would say. Of course, there's that probably 30% chance that, hey, you know what? It was controversy that fueled it, and that the same people, whether it be on the side who hated it or the people that loved it, wouldn't necessarily give it the same publicity, therefore, probably wouldn't go out there and see it for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't know, but I'll tell you, if I was the studio head, this would definitely be a movie that I would be signing up for. I'm shocked that Joaquin Phoenix really isn't just like, you know what, I'm on board 110%. Tell me when shooting begins. That that would be what I would like to see from Joaquin Phoenix. But I totally get it. You know, he's an actor. He's probably got a million different projects that are really just at his hands that he can basically pick and choose from. So the idea that he's just not fully saying I'm on board with something might just be because of scheduling and conflicts along those lines, and not necessarily that he isn't enthused about playing the role. It seems from both sides, director and actor, that they would love to work with each other again. So you know what? I say put that thing into creation. Make a Joker 2, and chances are you're probably going to have another hit. Whether it would be as big as the second one, I don't know. I mean, as the first one, I don't know. But I think when you're talking about hits after, the pandemic that's been going on, I think movies like this that are really geared towards the fans and not necessarily towards all this woke political bullcrap, I think fans would be more open to seeing. I really think they would. I think they'd be open to seeing Joaquin Phoenix, who is a brilliant actor in a million different ways, and I don't think very few people disagree with that. But anyways, guys, let me know what y'all think. Would y'all be as excited to seeing a Joker 2 with Joaquin Phoenix? Or do you feel like, hey, you know what, that was a perfect standalone film, don't make a sequel of it? Not everything needs a sequel. There's a part of me that almost kind of feels that way with Joker. I'm like, it was good for what it was, but does it really need a sequel? Do we really need to go down the Fast and Furious road with that, where we have 10 sequels for every good movie that comes out? Probably not. Probably not. I personally wish that they would just kind of leave it be. But, I understand as a studio head, and there's probably many fans that disagree with me out there on that they're up for Joker 2. But anyways, let me know what y'all think down below. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching. And y'all take care.